there's been a lot of news about Meta the last week, but the two pieces I want to definitely hit on is they're expecting, or the rumor is they're going to do 20% layoffs. And then I think this might also be a rumor, but I'm not sure. Their newest, latest model, Avocado, is supposed to be delayed. And this is different than Llama, where it's going to be a proprietary model. It's not going to be open source. Um, what are your thoughts on this? And are there any other news items for Meta that you want to talk about? Because they're also delaying, or not delaying, they're shutting down Horizon Worlds as well. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, so it does look like they're focusing more of their efforts on AI and AI related stuff. Um, those efforts may have improved their productivity internally to where they might be letting go of 20% of their staff. Obviously, that's a very good thing from a profitability standpoint. So Meta's just is going to continue to be a cash cow, generating huge amounts of profits. The fact that they haven't yet been able to produce anything despite their heavy investment in AI and an AI specific product is somewhat disappointing. But fortunately, the market, in my opinion, has been discounting that value to zero anyway, because the company's existing product lines, the Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp revenue has been growing 20% year over year. It's outpacing the growth of Microsoft and Google and Amazon, despite those companies having AI revenue and Meta not having any AI revenue. So um, if they reduce expenses even further, that's all upside. I view the company just continuing to get stronger. Now, it's never a positive thing when a company's behind and on a particular technology and hasn't been able to catch up. I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg is frustrated about that, which might be why you're starting to see the consolidations and the layoffs, just because uh, he addresses the problems that his companies have. So it's all a positive sign as far as I'm concerned. Um, I haven't seen anything that has worried me about Meta. Um, the stock price continues to get more attractive. So this is another case where the company just continues to become stronger, but the stock price is not reflecting it, especially when the market has been rewarding other companies that have not even done nearly as well. So when there's a discrepancy between the market and what the market is doing with comparable stocks and a particular company that I'm interested in, I usually double down on those type of investments. And I have been with Meta in particular. I bought it as high as I think 700 and some change more recently. So, but this doesn't deter me. Like, this doesn't make me worried about it at all. In fact, it just makes me feel more convinced in my investment thesis.
Right. A lot of people focus in regards to AI around revenue generating results. And while that's half the story, the other half is, can it reduce expenses? And this is
Right.
potentially an example of that, where like really AI just has to do one to have a meaningful impact, and it's probably going to end up doing both. Um,
Yeah.
you hate to see the layoffs, but as a shareholder, it's good for a company to be run more efficiently. So,
Yeah. So, one thing at a macro level, the layoffs might start to become a problem down the road, right? Um, So, if the market was punishing everybody, that would be one thing, but it's not necessarily punishing everybody. It's sort of like selectively punishing. um, at a macro level, the layoffs might become a problem down the road because Block, for example, just let go of 40% of their staff because of AI. Amazon has been reducing their staff because of AI. If Meta is next, reducing staff because of AI efficiencies and replacing these high-end positions. By the way, they're software engineers. It's not just like them replacing their marketing teams or like maybe uh, lower paid staff. It's not just them that are getting affected. It's also the high paying software engineering positions that are getting affected. Um, it is something that makes you kind of go, I wonder if this is good long term, and how quickly will these people find other jobs or do
right.
something productive in the market. So there is a little bit of concern in the back of my head that the macro conditions long term, if the software engineers positions, which used to be considered the protected jobs, are getting replaced already with AI, then no one is safe, right? And from that standpoint, there might be some, overhanging clouds that we need to worry about long term. So
right? If unemployment rate's too high and consumers can't consume because they don't have a paycheck, that's not a very optimistic outlook.
right, exactly, exactly.
Going back to Avocado, I'll give Meta the same feedback that I think I gave Apple when they did the deal with Google for Gemini to power Siri, which is the rumor of why they're delaying Avocado is it just doesn't hold up against the top competing models. And my perspective is just release it anyway. Like if that's the best thing you have, it's then at least you're and any user that's interacting with their current llama models is it's going to be an improvement on their own platform. Maybe people aren't going to be using Avocado in Cursor just yet, but at least get it out there is my perspective. Because the problem is, the longer you wait, it's not like everyone is stagnant. Everyone is
Right.
constantly improving their model, so the bar is only getting higher and higher and higher. So,
Well, I
do you,
think I think that I think that might be a better strategy for them to wait. And hear me out, because I'm not 100% sure that that's a better strategy for everybody. But in Meta's case in particular, they've put out a lot of half-baked or not good enough products out there. Meta Horizon is another
Mhm.
example. The AI in their Meta glasses has been okay. It's not like great, especially when you compare it to things like ChatGPT. So they're starting to get a lot of like criticism, deservedly, that their products are like not meeting the expectations of users. And they spent a lot of money last year, and got a lot of attention because of the billions of dollars in signing bonuses in collectively that they were giving to these sort of superstars that they brought in, and assembled a super team of AI engineers. So if that super team comes out with something, their first product. So up until this point, we're giving them a, like, okay, they started from scratch, hit the reset button. But if their first product is lackluster, I think that everyone's going to dismiss Meta. So they can't release their first product and have it be a lackluster product that doesn't meet expectations. It needs to
so
be
my,
at least something that's superior. It does something better than everybody else.
so my counter to that is Google Gemini. The first version of that was garbage,
Yes.
and then they were able to perfect it because I think this market or the consumer is very forgiving because all the models are so fluid. The top model is constantly changing. So I
Yeah.
I think maybe in a different market, like if it was just like software and trying to build the best social network, it could be different where like you're going to miss out on a bunch of users because they wrote you off. But with these models, people are constantly trying different ones and finding the new best one. Um, so I don't know.
Yeah.
The other going back to your point of like maybe they should wait. If you're Mark Zuckerberg and there is something internally that's going to get you ahead, where you're going to surpass that bar, then yeah, it makes total sense to wait if you have that
Yeah.
type of confidence. And I'm hoping that's the case because obviously he has more insight into what they're doing internally than we do.
Right. Right.
So there is that silver lining.
You're right about Google being able to sort of uh, get over their horrible
Awful.
introduction to AI
Yes.
with
Absolutely awful.
some very bad product releases. But um, yeah, Google had the luxury of search being so top of mind and like something that is so front and center, and then just giving you AI results when you just go search for something, that they were able to sort of force their way back in with a much better AI product. Um, I don't know if Meta has that option.
Not as
They do.
strong.
not as strong. They do have, 3 billion daily active users, but those daily active users are not searching for things inside of, their platform. So it's a little bit different.